course, we go to Özgehan Senyuva, Associate Professor from the Middle East Technical University of Ankara for the youth research. Özgehan, from your perspective, from a research point of view, what would you say?
Hello, and thanks for having me. And welcome to my house. I always wanted to go to European Youth Work Convention. I didn't think European Youth Work Convention would come to my house, but it's good. This is the biggest party I'm ever having. Well, this is the Corona time, so you can see me sitting between my modem, my library, and trying to survive. So I wish all of you healthy, good days, and stay safe and stay sane. And youth work is definitely one of the ways to stay sane. All the research points that youth work at the times of Corona is helping young people to cope with these problems and helping them to overcome some of the problems. Youth work is not the magical solution, but the pandemic will be over, but youth work is here to stay. I would start by saying that in terms of youth research and youth work research, we are in a much better position compared with the last time we had the Youth Work Convention. I have three things to offer on this. I think youth research now is better because we have more research dedicated on youth and more systemic research that focuses over time analysis. So we know more than we knew 5 years ago. The second point is the research practice and research policy dialogue is more institutionalized. So we have, for instance, a RAY network, Research Youth Network, looking at evidence. We have the wonderful initiative of the Youth Partnership. I would recommend everybody to Google, if they are not familiar with it, and check the Youth Partnership of Council of Europe and European Commission, and which provides a very nice platform for research and practice and policy dialogue. For instance, if anybody is interested on research on COVID-19 and youth, there is the new Knowledge Hub established under Youth Partnership, and this allows increased dialogue between research and practice and research and policy. There is the European Platform on Learning Mobility. Again, this is a wonderful platform that brings together research, practice, and policy. And so we have more institutionalized dialogue and interactions between these parts. But I give a lot of importance to something else, which is the human resources. You see, youth used to be, and youth work used to be the unit of analysis, the thing under the microscope. So researchers in their universities would put youth under the microscope and study it. What we have witnessed over last decade is we have more transitions between practice and research. What do I mean is we don't only have more master's theses or PhDs written about Erasmus programs or EVS. We have ex-EVS volunteers who have PhDs, who are actually doing research and teaching in universities or part of independent research. So young people, youth workers, are no longer only the unit of analysis, but they became researchers as well. They are contributing to the research. And I think this I find very important and an improvement. And finally, I think we're in a better place because evidence became a keyword. And evidence-based practice and evidence-based policy are extremely valuable now, and there is huge need and demand for evidence. In terms of funding, in terms of recognition, evidence became demanded and asked for. What do we need is increased cooperation between research and practice. I do several workshops on research practice linkage. One of the issues that always comes is both sides criticizing each other that they are not cooperating. So any research that has to take into practice, into consideration, and preferably make them partners, but also practice has to develop its understanding of evidence-based practice. But I also find importance in communication between research and practice, because we need to understand is what do we know, but also what we don't know. And only through communication we can discover the most valuable thing, what we don't know that we don't know. Sounds complicated, and that's why we need communication and cooperation. Only getting together, research and practice can find better ways to understand what we are facing. And finally, I would like to point to a very important cooperation potential. If by including more research into practice and policy making, it's going to help us to get something we are all working for, recognition. I see there are very good workshops, and recognition is part of this event. What I'm trying to say is that Bonn process and Strasbourg process can go together. If we want recognition for the positive outcomes of youth work, we need to present strong evidence. And that evidence can only be created with increased cooperation between research and practice. And only through evidence production and presentation of this evidence, we will be able to achieve social and political and formal recognition for youth work. And I would like to point to a very important potential I see in the field of cooperation, the increasing demand and increasing practice of participatory action research. Again, I encourage some participants who are interested. There are workshops on participatory action research, and I find this extremely important because these are good examples where young people and researchers and practitioners come together and work as one to find what is the challenge, what is the reality, and also search for how to create a change. So the institutionalized research, cooperation, communication, and participation of young people, not externalize them, but make them important agents of change, is a very, very important element. So I'll stop here, and I wish all the participants safe and active days. And I hope this Youth Work Convention is going to help us to learn things, but I also hope it will help us unlearn things, because youth work also has to unlearn some of its practices in these difficult times, just as this reality of doing it online is not a replication or substitution of the real event. We have to think what we are missing by doing this online and what are we here to gain. So these are times of change, but change is inevitable. What we need to assess is the direction and magnitude of this change. And this is only possible when working together. Thank you.